wrote down exactly what we'll be doing, what time of the day my labor will start, as well as what time of day our baby will arrive. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm discussing the difference between my first pregnancy and this pregnancy. There's been a lot of differences physically, mentally, and emotionally. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let me adjust this pillow. Whew. So y'all, I am 38 weeks and 2 days today. So we have less than 2 weeks left before the little one gets here. So I'm trying to get these pregnancy videos out for you guys because I've been slacking, and I'm trying to get as many out before the baby comes as possible. I got my notes here, so let's just jump right in. All right, so let's start with how things are different for me now mentally. I'm not battling as much anxiety as before. So mentally, I believe this pregnancy has been easier for me as far as just trusting my body, trusting that everything's gonna be okay. I don't have any fear of my labor and delivery like I did before. And that's probably because I know somewhat what to expect. Although this time around I'm doing a home birth, so things are gonna be different, much different. And you would think I'd be more scared because I'm going natural. Actually, I'm total opposite. I'm more relaxed. And I was also in a different relationship. I definitely have a lot more support than I did before. Contractions don't have to hurt. I've heard pregnant women who never even felt their contractions, but they weren't in pain. It wasn't painful for them. And just for the simple fact that someone else can achieve that for themselves, I know I can too. But I sat with my partner and we figured out how our birthing day, how the day of our birth will go. So I was trying to figure out how to say that. But basically the day that the baby comes, we wrote down exactly what we'll be doing, what time of the day my labor will start, as well as what time of day our baby will arrive. And I'm a firm believer that those things will come true because anything is possible, and I believe in the power of manifestation. Another thing as far as mentally how this pregnancy is different than my last pregnancy is the fact that before taking the pregnancy test, I knew that we were having a baby because we talked about it. So there was intention behind this creation, versus last time when I was pregnant, it wasn't like a conscious intention. So much different this time around. How this pregnancy differs from my last pregnancy emotionally is the fact that I'm definitely more irritable this time around. I can just tell my hormones are a little more out of balance than last time. And it could be because I changed my diet. I am vegan now, so you know, your hormones fluctuate depending on how you eat, your environment. There's so many factors that can throw off your hormones, aside from the fact that when you become pregnant, you know, your hormones are changing. But yeah, I definitely feel like my hormones are more out of whack. And I can tell even physically as far as like my breakouts, which I'll get to that. So with my first pregnancy, I gained a total of a little over 60 pounds. I want to say like 62 pounds. So yeah, I was pretty big and I wasn't ashamed of it at the time. I just ate a lot. I had a lot of cravings too. I wasn't vegan at the time, so those creamy sauces like Alfredo and cheesy type meals, queso dip, you name it, I was eating it. I still craved a lot during my first pregnancy, but I had limited options as far as how to satisfy my cravings. So that was a struggle for me because the vegan options just weren't doing it for me. Like if you saw my first trimester symptoms video, I expressed, you know, the things I was eating and how it was hard for me to even figure out even one snack or one meal, because any option that I saw on the menu or at the store, it just wasn't doing it for me. However, it saved me as far as weight gain, because I wasn't just eating all this food, I was eating very small quantities, basic stuff like mashed potatoes and like very bland foods. Something else I noticed is my belly sits lower than my first pregnancy, so that's something a little different. Definitely feeling more pain than my first pregnancy as far as like in my pelvic area, and I've been feeling more pain in my back, like my lower back and like in the middle part. I think it just has to do with, again, the positioning of the baby this time around. I also noticed my hair and my nails were longer and thicker my first pregnancy. I think that's because of what I was eating, and maybe even like the prenatals too. I'm taking a vegan prenatal now, so I think it has just less of a dosage of nutrients, or excuse me, a less dosage of vitamins in it than my prenatal vitamin I was taking before. And I'm definitely consuming less protein and iron. Dairy and meat has a lot of calcium, iron, protein, and because I've cut that out of my diet, I'm understanding that there's a lack there, and I think that definitely plays into why my nails are not as strong, as well as my hair. Although my hair has gotten healthier since pre-pregnancy, but it's not as thick and luscious as it was my first pregnancy. I'm having more breakouts in this pregnancy. Again, I think it's lack of certain minerals and nutrients that I'm not getting from the fact that I'm not eating meat and dairy. So I felt the baby's movements around 20 weeks or 21 weeks during my first pregnancy. And then this time around, I started feeling flutters at around 12 weeks. And then they were more, for sure, movements at 17 weeks. So feeling movements much earlier this time around, which people do say your second pregnancy, you do feel your baby more. And not only did the movements come early on, but they are very strong. And it could just do with this baby's personality and whatnot, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of movement this time around, like kicks, punches. My stomach can look like this at one point. Sometimes the baby's protruding out like the side of my stomach, and the baby is sitting so low. So it's like the movements are just right down in there, and it's just not the most comfortable. Sometimes I have to like sit up and be like, okay, chill out down there, because it's just like a lot of pressure and a lot of pokes and flutters and whatnot. But anyway, it's all good though. Okay, so let's move on to the difference in my symptoms from this pregnancy and my last. As far as swelling, I started swelling around, I want to say 36 weeks during my last pregnancy, and it was concentrated in my ankles and my feet. Thank God it was the summertime too, because I wouldn't have been able to fit closed-toed shoes at all, like at all. So I was wearing flip-flops. And this time around, I do have some swelling depending on how long I'm standing, but as soon as I sit down and elevate my feet, it'll go away. And when it does swell, it's not even like that dramatic. It's just like the average person looking at my feet probably wouldn't even notice that they're swollen, but I have pretty narrow, thin feet, so I definitely can tell. And I can feel it too, like if I'm wearing socks, they feel tighter, and of course, if I'm wearing shoes, they feel tighter as well. I'm more tired this go round than before, and I think it does have to do with my low iron for sure. People who are iron deficient do struggle with I was gonna say lethargic, but was it lethargy? I'll put the word up here, but people struggle with being tired. That's one of the symptoms. And I could have like a good 7 hours of sleep, and then I'd say by 3 o'clock, my eyes are getting heavy. It's not just me being sleepy either. It's like, I just feel weak and just like exhausted, like I just ran a mile or something. So yeah, I've been definitely taking advantage of naps, and I'm not ashamed of it because I just can't function. Even if I force myself to stay awake, I get irritable. I know they say like mind over matter, you know, you control your body, but at the same time, it's like my body is using a lot of energy already, creating this child, keeping this child, you know, developing and whatnot. So I think I'm doing a disservice to my body and the baby if I'm just overdoing it. First pregnancy, I was dealing with a lot of heartburn. Yeah, it was pretty bad last time with the heartburn. I was eating like 10 Tums a day. I still deal with heartburn, but not nearly as much. So when I do get it, I'm just like, all right, I can deal with this because it's not as bad as it was last time. That's pretty much it as far as the differences between my first pregnancy and this pregnancy. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up so I can know that you enjoyed this video. I have some more pregnancy videos I'm trying to push out before the due date. And please subscribe so that you don't miss when I do post. All right, so that's all for now. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye.